Hello everyone, this is Chris, Legacy. As I was driving through South Africa and I was meeting different people in May of 2022, I came to the realization, I realized something. And what I realized is that we shouldn't be alone. And I say this because people like Frans van Staden, the 3-2 Battalion company commander, was now a very, very good psychologist working with a program trying to help people on this very program. If you have a problem, please feel free to contact Frans. And I also spoke to former Special Task Force Commander, Colonel Andre Olivier, who's a man I really respect. And he's a pastor now when he's not doing his business, and he's something of a business mogul, done very well in life. And both of them, including myself, my own inner conviction is that you should not sit alone at your house and talk and think about the things of the past. That is how Satan and, let's call it the dark devils or whatever you want to call it, evil spirits, negative thoughts, negative energy, that's where these things will get hold of you. And therefore I've asked, I spread the word, and I'm asking you now as well. If you have a meeting, a veterans meeting, a parade or a skouerskuur, a braai, whatever, take videos, send it to me. And I will do my best to put this out there so that other veterans can see what you guys are up to and what you're doing, and that you're having fun, and that you're between your own people who understands you, because that's important. So I don't think there's anybody else who will understand a veteran unless he's a veteran himself. So we need to go back to our roots. And the way to go back, since we cannot change time, there is of course an institution who think they can change time, but that's a story for another day. But since we cannot change time, the only way for us to get back is by meeting up with our mates. And therefore I'm seriously thinking of creating a legacy veteran channel, something like that, a playlist, something where we can do the parades, let's call it legacy parades. Now I won't be there. I can't be in South Africa and in Switzerland at the same time. I'm not Irish. Therefore, you have to do it. You have to take the pictures to me. You will soon see the format. It's very easy actually. All you need to do is you take a picture of yourself, a selfie almost on WhatsApp, video or whatever program you use, and you tell me what it's about, and then you show me the parade, you talk to a few people there, we put the video together, we give you all the exposure you need. So that's it. There's an open invitation to you, to your videos. Send it to me, talk to me, let us see if we can bring the word out. If I can't make a decent video from your videos, I'll tell you that the next time we try again. And that's what we're going to do. And if you wish to be involved, get involved. This is your chance. So I thank you all. Now let us see who came to the party here.
Hello, Koos and your team at Legacy. I want to thank you for all your videos, which are a superb database of SADF activities during the border war. By way of introduction, I am Steve de Witt, a former conscript who served with 6i and who did my time in Ovambaland and on ops in Angola. Koos, I'm going to be reading from a text I prepared because there's a fair amount I wanted to say and I didn't want to leave anything out. In your efforts to reconnect old muckers and friends, you asked that people send videos of skouerskuurs and reunions, and that is what I'm doing here. However, it is more than that. It's a video about how the men from one platoon in one company have come together over the past 7 years, what it means for us, and the activities that we have got up to. We offer it as an example of the tremendous goodwill that comes out of old friends and veterans coming together, and how it has enhanced our lives and our families' lives and continues to do so. I clawed out in 1983 and I lost all contact with my platoon mates. 33 years later, I wrote something on Facebook which was seen by a platoon mate, and he contacted me. We had a great reunion in Cape Town in a bar, and this is where the story of our veterans organization begins. He was in contact with another platoon mate who knew another one, and there and then we spontaneously decided that we would organize a reunion of the guys that we knew were around somewhere. We chose Caesar's Palace, close to Johannesburg Airport, because some of the men would be flying in for the reunion. 8 of us attended that first gathering. All of us from the same platoon, including our platoon commander who flew in from Ireland. We spent the weekend in a hotel, talking right through the nights, and what a great experience it was to reconnect, to hear others' memories of our border experiences, and to catch up with the guys. This set into motion a chain of events where we decided to have regular reunions. We started by forming a WhatsApp chat group, and in time our numbers grew. By using the internet mainly, we managed to track down more and more of our muckers. Within a year we grew to 20 men, then 30 men, and now, 7 years later, we have about 60 men from our platoon and our company who have been reunited. To date, we have had annual reunions in 4 cities around South Africa, and we've had many regional reunions in the various cities where the local guys get together. We are troops, NCOs, and officers all together, former NDPs and PF soldiers. The critical thing is that we all served in one company at the same time on the border, so we share many common memories and experiences. Now, at an early stage, we decided to formalize ourselves into a veterans group. We chose a name for ourselves, and we adopted the tradition of presenting each man with a badge and a veteran's cap and giving him the opportunity to make a speech at his first reunion. The next presentation is to Brent of his veteran's badge. Brent was my boss in the army.
No, I wasn't.
He was boss?
No.
I'm making a speech. The finest chap 35 years ago. It was a privilege to be on patrol with Brent, fighting in the war with him.
So listen, I feel very privileged. Yeah, thank you so much.
Lekker.
Yeah, I mean, I really mean it from the heart.
It's
Yeah.
really nice to have you. Very cool.
Really?
Witt was on it.
Yeah, no, well, yeah.
PS section leader, 35 years.
And that's not to say about the trip down that he did all the way from Victoria on a bike.
The Veterans Club.
Well,
1,700.
this is special, and you just mentioned the bike there, Barry. This is going to go in my jacket.
But in the meantime, I've had a cap made for each of you. So there it is, the Pro Patria, the Southern Africa and the General Service Medal.
And I must tell you that it's been extremely rewarding to see men come into the group one at a time, to witness how much it means to them to find their old comrades, to hear their memories and the stories of their lives as we catch up over a few drinks.
Boys, julle weet nie wat beteken hierdie hele oefening. Ek dink vir ons almal, ek praat met nou maar almal met almal, maar wat eintlik almal 'n half soort van bymekaar gekry het. Nee, dit is fucking awesome, boys. Dit is absoluut. You don't know what it means to us. I really think I speak for everyone. It is absolutely awesome.
Among the activities that we've done over the years are things like revisiting 6I, where we did our training, and for some of us, stupid enough, running the 2,4.
Is that bungalow, eh?
T94. Krista stepped here on one occasion. He wanted to be on his own, and he moved to that bed there. And I landed up here,
This here was my shelf. My shelf, my bed was here.
During the training, I was like, I can see my bed, I can see me here.
How does it feel to be back here?
You know what? I'm actually quite happy I came, Steve. Yes, it's not what it was when we were here, but do you expect things to stay the same? Things don't stay the same. We're older, we're grayer, we might see it through different eyes. I see it the way it was.
We were also able to pay our respects to the more than 80 conscripts from 6I who gave up their lives during their service. Other activities include things like a group visit to the Voortrekker Monument and paying our respects at the Wall of Remembrance. And what's interesting is that many of the guys didn't even know that the wall existed, and it was an emotional and moving experience to go there with them. Apart from that, there have been many get-togethers where we enjoy the simple experience of being in one another's company, catching up, telling stories from the past, and keeping tabs on one another's lives and the challenges we are facing as we get older. Another thing we did in the early days was to share our old SADF photos, digitize them, and put them in an archive which we keep online. And we now have nearly 1,000 images. Some of the guys who came into the group had no photos from those days. Either they never had a camera or their photos had been lost. And it's always a moving experience for them to see themselves in pictures on the border or on ops, to be able to show them to their families, and for many of them to show them to their sons in particular as evidence of their service to our country. We've also gathered other memorabilia like diaries which our guys wrote when they were on the border, old letters that were written home and letters that were written to them by their families, logbooks, maps, a book that we've written, and various other kinds of memorabilia. Collectively, this archive of treasures captures the breadth of our border experience and is valuable for accessing memories, timelines, and records of our activities in the war. We have a closed Facebook group where we post much of this material, especially on significant dates that recall ops or battles that we fought in, or significant contacts, or which commemorate and honor men we lost and others who have passed away since. And I must say that this archive has become extremely valuable to us, and many a man has joined our organization, come into the fold, and he either has very unclear or few memories of the border because it was so long ago, or his memories are jumbled. And because we have diaries and timelines and written accounts of the various activities that we took part in, it clarifies a lot in his mind of the sequentially his service on the border, and clarifies much about his past service. And the guys find that very valuable. Our group activities have grown organically, with the men deciding themselves by way of discussion and sometimes by voting what activities we should do as a veterans organization. Now, we are well aware that there are many very good veterans organizations out there, and we do have links into some of them. What we've done is, because we are a small group of men who serve together, is we have evolved things in our own way according to what the group wants. And that has been very important for us. And that is a word of advice I would give to any others out there looking at forming an organization of their muckers from the past. And that is to not imitate anyone else, and to just let it grow in its own way and at its own pace. We are fundamentally democratic, and the group has taken decisions like establishing a crisis fund for men who require urgent financial assistance. We have put in a group application for outstanding medals, which means a lot to many of the guys.
If you can all send me your force numbers at some point in time, and then I'll go and I'll have your record of awards and decorations drawn from the system, because it'll be on there.
Okay.
And then I'll also have your service record drawn. And then between myself and Cassie, I'll put in a group application for each medal. One for the South Africa, one for that one for that one. And the motivations that Cassie and I can write that will support that, we'll have signed affidavits and then we'll send it.
It's a lot of effort.
And we've also started giving recognition awards for muckers, for our comrades and our platoon mates, whom we know, because we experienced it, that they showed outstanding bravery in combat situations, but they were never recognized by command structures higher up.
Volunteered to climb Alpha Tower as it was being struck repeatedly by rocket fire. To activate a machine gun position on top of the tower, this courageous act helped turn the battle in favour of the South African Army, and the posthumous award is presented by the officers and men of Alpha Company's 6th Light Infantry Battalion, who fought alongside him, and it's signed as well.
And by doing all of this and many other activities, a strong sense of brotherhood, meaning, and gratitude has developed in the group, making the organization a central part of our lives for many of us. Of course, we do other things, giving the men various opportunities to reflect more formally on their wartime experiences. And we found that these opportunities to speak about what they went through are deeply cathartic and healing for some of the men. And especially those who, for one reason or another, have never had an opportunity in their life to speak about what they went through at the time. For example, we have made numerous videos and podcasts about significant events and battles that we were part of. We've put them on military forums.
En weet jy, julle die volgende oomblik te val die eerste mortier letterlik 'n paar meter van ons af die aarde skud en toe breek die hel los. Ons almal was in PT shorts en so het aangegaan en dit is wat ek kan onthou. RPG's, 2 RPG's oor ons koppe, ook maar net 2-3 meter bo ons verby in die boomtoppe aan die ander kant van ons. So ja, dit was nogal skrikwekkend en ek glo almal se ervaring was min of meer dieselfde, tensy daar 'n regte GV is wat uit die heup uit teruggeskiet het, maar ek weet ek het
Mega fright. Took off down the cup lane, boots. I can remember myself, boots, underpants, wearing rifle, left my sleeping bag there and cantered down the white line.
What I do remember is that waking up and recalling it's my birthday and seeing the traces, the green ones and the red ones coming through the tent flaps.
Aan ons kant af was ons eintlik verlig dat ons agtergekom het dat dit nie ons is wat aangeval is nie, maar dat dit die Alpha toring is. Maar ons het ook gedink aan julle ouens op daai stadium want die aanval was nogal vir ons het indrukwekkend gelyk van waar ons was.
There was the one incident that, I don't know if you were with us, we were away playing, but Cassie was there, is that we went out on a sweep at 2 o'clock in the morning. And we were given the orders, everything. I still remember that night before we went out watching Karen Carpenter with her brother on TV. Anyway, we went out and we had intelligence and had information that there was going to be 3 MK guys sleeping in this one shed on the farmer's property in the ski.
And we've had more formal group occasions where the men openly reflect on their experiences. And once again I say that this is not something that was a goal for us, that we set out to do. or that we designed as a way to assist people. It was just something that came up naturally, that the guys felt that they wanted to do.
But there we were, at that point in time, leaderless, and we didn't know how many people were attacking us, how many SWAPO guys, and what was going to happen next. And then the next minute, just a massive bang. That was 82 my enemy mortar that landed it. But what happened, a small little shrapnel hit old Harold just behind the eye. And he said to me, "What's I've been hit, I said, "No man, what?" So, I mean, obviously we can't see, and he sort of felt that, and there was blood in his hand.
Peter and I ended up in this bunker that was just at the gate with our Sergeant Major Moves, who was also in there in his underpants, with his arms skinned, legs completely skinned from crawling across the hard sand. And as Wesley said, we immediately realized there was a problem, that we could not deliver the firepower that we need to deliver there. And even if we could just get one machine gun going, it would make a difference.
A feature of our group is the manner in which the men support each other. And I want to say a few words about this. One of our most rewarding moments was finding a platoon mate who had been severely wounded when he was hit by an RPG. And he barely survived and was flown off to 1 mil, and we never saw him again. We found him 35 years later, at the end of his life, when he was very ill with cancer. And he was overjoyed to be in contact with us again. And I remember exactly what he said to me when I first spoke to him. He said, "Steve, I thought you had forgotten me." And he said, "I thought no one remembered me." And we were able to assure him that that wasn't the case. And we had the opportunity to thank him for his service and his tremendous sacrifice, and to tell him how often we had thought about him and worried about him over the decades. And I can tell you that all of this was of immense significance to him, because he had paid a very dear price and felt as if he had not been recognized or remembered for what he did. And I think it gave him a lot of closure. And we were able to visit him in hospital up until the day that he died. So that is what I mean when I say a big feature of our group is the way that we support one another. Amongst us, we have men from across the world in all professions, and we frequently tap into each other's experience and make use of one another's services. Among us, we have experienced all manner of successes and failures in life, and the support given to men who are going through tough times is invaluable to them. I have had more than one man say to me that the group saved him during a particularly dark time of his life, or that the greatest encouragement he got during his serious medical illness came from his fellow veterans who texted him daily, who visited him in hospital and supported his family. Countless times we have come to one another's rescue. Our friendships go back to a time where we had to trust one another in the bush, where we had one another's backs. And that has been automatically continued today. It is a source of great comfort to have these men on your side, whom you can call at any time for a favor when you need one, who know that you won't judge them, but just help them out should you need it. And with that comes the responsibility and the pleasure of returning the favor one day when you are called on to help someone else out. So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about the vet who phoned me in the middle of the night with a gun at his head, about to pull the trigger. I'm talking about another man who emailed from a foreign country saying he's in jail and can we help out? I'm talking about the father who phoned in a panic from overseas, saying that his son has been arrested in a bar fight and can I go bail the kid out? And more simple things, like phoning a fellow vet who's a mechanic to get advice about replacing a car part, or simply by gathering a few vets to visit a makker during his final days in hospital, and then assisting his family through the dark days that come after that. And talking about funerals, this is another area where our vets organization has come to play a significant role. One family asked for some sort of a military presence at the funeral of one of our fellow vets. And we very quickly put together a ceremony held at a moth hall. And here I must commend that great organization, the Moths, who are always willing to assist with veterans' activities. And at this Veterans Memorial, we implemented a basic military procedure, culminating with a last post and a veteran salute, which the family found very moving, and which was also very moving for the veterans who participated in it as well. To have that ability on a formal occasion to salute your former brother in arms and bring closure to his life. Everything I have said here is about the tremendous support structure and goodwill that comes out of reconnecting with your fellow veterans. And to this end, the guys decided at some stage that we needed a committee. And so they voted one in. And that was another development in the growth of our organization. And ahead, I must say, lie new activities, born from suggestions among the men, and we grow from strength to strength. Today, our members are engaged in new activities like remembrance parades, guest talks at different events, laying wreaths on the graves on the anniversaries of muckers who were killed in action, and we have numerous other activities planned for the future. Now, you might be interested to hear some stats. We have found that not all of our veterans are necessarily interested in being part of our organization or attending things like skouerskeurs or reunions. There are different degrees of interests. We've had about 5 men who came into the group and left within a few days. It was not for them for their own reasons. And we understand that. Everyone is in a different place in his life and in his head. Some don't feel the need to rekindle friendships with guys from their army days. Then we have about 5 guys who live overseas and have a more distant relationship with us. Obviously, it's harder for them to attend our activities. Some of them like being on the chat group, on the WhatsApp chat group, others not. About half our members are on the chat group, but they don't say much. Still, they are happy to be reconnected with us, even if they don't keep up regular communication. About 20 men form the core of the group, texting on the group regularly, attending get-togethers and activities, especially in their regional areas. And many of them make the effort to attend our annual reunion, often in a city far away from them, which involves transport and accommodation costs. And the important thing here that comes out of these stats is to accept everyone unconditionally. This is what we have learned. Our members range from men who saw their national service as a waste of time, through to those who are very proud of their legacy. No one is better than anyone else. We accept everyone for who they are, no matter what their views are on the time that they spent in the army. And the important thing here is that there is no judgment. The ranks in our group range from troop to colonel. But everyone has an equal say in decision making and in voting on issues. We also have men, obviously with different political and religious viewpoints, but it's not important to us. What prevails amongst us, and it comes naturally, is mutual respect, no judgment, and a common appreciation for the simple joy of being together again with men you can trust 100%, as you did in the past during the hard times on the border. And I must say that a brotherhood like that is unique, and we all feel privileged to be a part of it. Thank you, Koos, for accepting our video on your forum. We offer it as a small example of how veterans coming together can have a massive impact on their lives and on their families and on the communities around them. We hope it will inspire others to do the same. We call ourselves the Bush Brothers Reunited. And if anyone would like further advice on how to get things done, you're welcome to email me and I'll put the link up here. Thanks once again to you, Koos, and to your team at Legacy.